papers everywhere. I have to get this, I have to get that. I have to take a freaking test. And I also have to ask for my professors to write me letters. That's gonna spike up my anxiety. Hello Internet Explorers, welcome to my channel. I am Saika, checking in with today's topic, requirements to submit when applying for international universities. So in my last video, I shared how I went about choosing the country and university I plan to attend to. For this video, I'm going to be delving into what requirements are required to be submitted when applying for international universities. So just to note, these are the general requirements that the universities usually ask for. Some other universities may ask for more, or some may ask for other ones besides the ones that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. So it's best to also just consult in their website to see what other requirements they need from you. Also, the requirements I'm sharing are for postgraduate studies, which is what I'm considered to be under. But enough of that, let's dive right into it. So first, they'll need a transcript of your records. So these are papers pertaining to all your classes and the grades which you got in them, and basically states your academic performance in minute detail for the past 4, 5, 6 years that you've been in university. Next, we have your curriculum weighted average. So this is usually a one-page letter from your specific college writing down your grade average from the time you started up to the time you graduated. Next is your original diploma, which is typically given on the day of your graduation or at least a month after your graduation. And if you come from a non-English speaking country like myself, you also need an English copy of your diploma. You still need to pass both, but the English copy is mandatory so that the university you're applying to can understand what is being stated in your diploma. After which, you need either a TOEFL or IELTS certificate. You definitely have to take this test before submitting all your requirements, and it basically measures your English proficiency. So you can book it online depending on which country you're from. Book your slot and then go to the test center where you're assigned and then take the test. It usually takes around half day to finish the test. So make sure to schedule that early on. The results are usually up after a week or so, and the test's validity is up to 2 years. So if you took it in 2019, it can still be valid if you're applying in 2021. Depending on where your university is, they're either going to ask for an IELTS or a TOEFL. So for the most part, Europe is IELTS, and then from what I know, the US is TOEFL, but you can just double check if you need to. Your score here is a bit important because each university has like a certain quota when it comes to English proficiency, so you definitely have to at least review. I personally didn't study because I'm quite confident in my English, so I really didn't study and I really didn't want to put too much pressure on myself. And I've been learning English since I was a child, so I was pretty confident. But do review if you're not that confident, or if you want to make sure you're gonna pass. Yeah, do review for this exam. Just be prepared and don't panic. Also, you do have to spend money on this one and it's not cheap, so make sure that you do your best and pass it the first time. Next, we have your personal statement. So this is basically a written essay coming from you as to why you want to go into this university and why you plan to study this certain program. So make it short, make it concise, make it straight to the point, and basically write down your strengths, your achievements, but please don't overdo it. State why you want to go into that university, why that course, and what your future plans are. There are guides as to how you can write your essay, so you can definitely look those up. As for me, because I work with a counselor from an organization that pairs up with different universities, they asked me to submit my essay and someone checked it for me to see if it was good or if it needed improvement and the like, and basically they gave me pointers as to how I could improve my personal statement. Also, if you're applying for several universities, you can submit the same personal statement. Just make sure that if you stated the specific university anywhere in your essay, that you do change it once you submit it to a different university. because you do not want a mix-up happening. So just be careful as well. Next, we have your CV or your curriculum vitae. So in a nutshell, it details your achievements in school or your proficiencies and your history, who you are, and the like. I made mine a bit creative just so it won't be as boring as the usual CVs, but it totally depends on you on how you make your CV and the like. Another tedious thing are the recommendation letters. So like me that's going straight to postgraduate studies after college, you need at least 2 to 3 recommendation letters from professors or your teachers or your mentors. So it helps in the first place if you have a close relationship with your teachers or at least have good rapport with some of your professors. Good thing I'm a nerd and an academic, so that really wasn't a problem for me. I did get to ask several of my teachers and professors, and also just a tip, consider asking teachers or mentors you've had a different experience with. For example, I had a mentor who was with me when we went on this quick exchange to Japan. So I made him write a recommendation letter for me, and he described me in a different way than my teacher who I was just exposed to in the classroom. I also asked the dean of our college to write me a recommendation letter because I worked with her as the graduation committee head during my senior year in college. So she also had a different account of me as a person because she could attest to more of my organizational work with talking to people and the like. So these different accounts could also help so that whoever is going to read those letters have a better understanding of who you are, not just in the classroom, but also in other aspects of your academic life. Be nice to your professors. Make sure you have at least 1 or 2 close. And also, even though they only require 2 to 3 recommendation letters, already ask at least 4 to 6 professors at least a month before you need them, because usually they pass at a later time and you don't want to be that person who keeps nagging them because they might end up writing something bad about you. Ask a lot because some of them won't pass on time, so at least you already have other prospects aside from them. These letters should also be sealed and definitely not tampered with. In addition, if you already have a work experience and whatnot, you can always ask your employers or your manager or your boss. Aside from those, you just need your basic identifiers, mainly your birth certificate as well as your passport. So make sure your passport is still valid, and if it's not, get a new passport. And that's basically it. It might sound a bit overwhelming because there is a lot of things you need to consider, but you're usually given, 3 months to fulfill these requirements if you're applying late already. I would say give it at least a year from your researching to your application so that you have more time to ask for people to prepare for the studying, to prepare your other certificates and requirements because they might take time to ask for. Also, just be sure to also check the deadlines of your certain university so you can also make a timeline of when you need your requirements and when you need to submit them. It really is an investment and it can be quite anxiety-inducing in a lot of ways, especially when you're asking for recommendation letters. So you really have to be sure on the universities you're applying for. You have to be sure on this decision to pursue studying abroad and really fully commit in doing this. From the very beginning, there's already a sense of excitement mixed with that nervousness that comes with applying for a university and generally just applying for anything we do in life. Then comes the waiting part, which is honestly the most nerve-wracking part for me because it's like I'm stuck in a limbo and I can't move on until I know the results. To assuage those anxieties, there is one advice I would like to give to you guys, and that is be realistic. You know your performance, whether in college or whether through work, so don't overestimate yourself, but also don't underestimate yourself. Try to discern if you actually have a chance in getting into the universities you like. Because it's one way if you chose to apply for them and it's another if they end up choosing you. So you have to consider these kinds of things because if you're already making an effort, just make sure that you actually have a chance of getting into these universities. I'm not being a party pooper, I'm just being honest with you guys, so just also be realistic and honest with yourself. With that being said, I hope you guys reach your dreams and goals. Whatever happens, go for it. And if you just apply and work hard enough, I'm pretty sure you'll get into one or all of the universities you applied to. Good luck! And I hope you guys get it. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much guys for watching. This has been Saika, checking out.